Hello, people. A very good evening to all of you. So, guys, here we begin with the term two, and the topic that we're going to start with is company accounts, which is issue of debenture. Guys, this topic is in continuation of company accounts, issue of share capital. Right. So, all those students, those who have studied the issue of share capital properly, will find this topic a easy go, a cakewalk. And all those who have not studied the issue of share capital properly, you might find things in between a little difficult, but not to worry when I'm here, right? So with that confidence, guys, let's begin. Guys, what we learned was that in India, if you have to do business, there is a particular form in which you have to do business. For example, you have to form a sole proprietorship concern, or you may have to form a partnership concern, or you may have to form a LLP, or private company, public company, right? So these are the various forms in which you have to conduct the business. So the first form of business that we studied in the 11th standard is doing business in form of a sole proprietorship concern. But in that, we had certain limitations. If I have to give an example, the first limitation under that was capital constraint. A single person cannot contribute maximum or unlimited capital. So if any business requires, let's suppose crores of rupees, a huge capital, one person cannot contribute it. So for that, to overcome that limitation, we had introduced the concept of partnership, where you have minimum two partners, two owners, and maximum is 50. But again, in partnership, we had this problem continued. You can have maximum 50 owners, and this 50 people have maximum limitation. Each one can contribute 1 crore, 2 crore. So 50 crores, 100 crores you can raise. But beyond that, if a business needs money, then partnership was a failure for us. That is when we were introduced to the concept of companies. So in companies, we studied that there are three types of companies. One is OPC, one person company. Second is private limited company. And the third is public limited company. Mariam, I lost. Okay. So third one is public limited company. Correct, no? So in private company, the minimum number of owners is 2, maximum 200, excluding present and past employees. So there also we had restrictions. To overcome that, finally, the option was given as public limited company, where it is minimum 7 owners and maximum is unlimited. So here I can, introduce how much our owners I want without any restrictions. Now, the next thing what you have to understand is, for any business, be it a company or a LLP or a partnership, what are the two primary sources of raising the funds? Two primary modes of raising the funds. Without funds, the business cannot operate. Correct, no? So what is the two primary, I would say the two primary branches of raising the funds? Can you tell me? One is capital, which comes from the owners. Second is debt, that is coming from external third parties. So we understood that company can raise capital through issue of equity shares or through issue of preference share. And we also learned how to do the accounting of the equity share issue and the preference share issue. Now we are going to understand that if a company wants to raise a debt, then what are the various options available? So when you're raising a debt, the option that is available is bank loan. I can go to the bank and raise the loan. That is one way. Any difficulty in accounting that? We've been learning the accounting of loan from the bank from 11th standard. So there is nothing specific to learn about it. Or if I have to get loan from third party, let's say any third party, accounting of loan from third party, is it difficult? No, again, straightforward. Whatever money is coming in, bank account debit or cash account debit to the loan. Very simple. Now this year, guys, in Companies Act 2013, they introduced a new form of debt called as debentures. Debenture is one way of borrowing, and it is very different from your so-called loan taken from the bank and the third parties, because these debentures comes with certain extra features which we had in the preference share. In preference share, we had different kinds of preference share, such as convertible preference share, cumulative preference share, redeemable preference share. So we had those features. Those features are also attached to the debentures. That's how it makes the concept of debentures little exclusive, little hatke for us to understand what is this all about and how do we do the accounting of the same. So this entire chapter is dedicated to understand what is the meaning of debentures, what are the different types of debentures, what are the various ways in which we can issue the debentures? Can we issue the debentures in cash? That is consideration in cash. Debentures can be issued for a consideration other than cash. Debenture can be used as collateral. So there are multiple, ifs and buts in this entire chapter. So that is why this chapter is that lengthy, right? So let's understand, guys, meaning and the characteristics or the features of debenture. Debenture is a written instrument. It is a written instrument or a document issued by a company acknowledging the borrowing. So this is something which is related to borrowing. Now in simple words, this is company. And this is a person. Now this person is giving loan, giving money to the company. Okay, let's suppose he's giving 10 lakh rupees. If I just give money to the company, am I done with it? In return, will you not take something in writing from the company? You would want something in writing from the company. Can you just randomly give 10 lakh to any company? You would want to ensure that your money is protected. So in return, you will take something in writing from them. So in return, the company has to give things in writing. That what this money, what is the amount of money that is taken from this person? Why are we taking this? What is the interest rate? When are we going to repay this money back? So there are certain important points that has to be communicated by the company to the person in writing. So when I give loan to company, if I give debt to the company, in return, the company will give me debenture certificate, which is a document in writing promising that in future date, on a particular date, we'll repay this money back. And until then, we'll be utilizing this money. And for this, we'll be paying interest at the rate of 5%, 8%, 10%, 15%. So that is what they're trying to say. Debenture is a written instrument called as debenture certificate issued by the company acknowledging that borrowing. Acknowledging means what? I agree that you have given me the money. I acknowledge that you have given me the money. The terms, so what will the document contain? The document will contain the terms of repayment. When will we repay the money? What date? What is the mode of repayment? When will I pay the principal? When will I pay the interest? What will be the rate at which I'll specify? What will be the rate at which I'll pay the interest? Everything will be stated in the document, which is called as debenture certificate. It is exactly the same certificate which we issue to the shareholders, and that is named as share certificate. Same here, it is debenture certificate. And this person who is getting or receiving this debenture certificate is called as a debenture holder. What is he called as? Debenture holder. In the share capital chapter, the person who is giving the money or lending the money is called as a shareholder. Here it is called as a debenture holder. Debenture includes debenture stocks, bonds, and any other instrument of the company evidencing a debt, whether constituting a charge on the asset of the company or not. What is a charge of the asset of the company or not? This is something which we'll discuss. But debenture will include stock. So now this debenture can be given different name, as a debenture stock, as a debenture bond, but everything means the same. A debenture is a document given by the company as an evidence of a debt to the holder, usually arising out of a loan and mostly commonly secured by a charge. What is a charge? We'll understand. The person to whom the debenture are issued are called as debenture holders. The person to whom the debenture certificate has been issued is called as a debenture holder. Please make a specific note of this point. Next, what are the characteristics or the features of debenture? The first point, debenture is a written document. So when I got this certificate from the company, it is a written document. I will not accept the oral confirmation. Boss, I want a written confirmation. So it is a written document or a certificate acknowledging the borrowing of the company. And we technically call this as a debenture certificate. Second, the document would also contain the mode of the repayment. Will I pay it in form of a NEFT? Will I do RTGS? Will I give a check? Will I give cash? I need to specify the mode of repayment and the period. Will I make this payment after 5 years, or will I make annual repayment? Like every year, let's suppose I've taken 10 lakhs from you. Every year I'll pay you 2 lakh. So what is the mode of repayment? So that you have to specify in that. When will you pay the principal? When will you pay the interest? Everything will be specified in that. Third, rate of interest on the debenture is specified. Now, if you remember, in preference share, we had a concept that 9% preference share. So this indicates that this preference share holders will get 9% interest, nothing more, nothing less. or a 10% preference share. Like that, even debentures have the categories. Now I can issue, let's suppose to all the offline students, I can issue a debenture which is a category of 10% interest. On the contrary, all those who are studying online, maybe I can issue to them a debenture of 12% interest rate. So how do I differentiate between both of you? So I will tell you that you are belonging to the 10% debenture category and online students are belonging to 12% debenture category. So like that, before the name of the debenture, the percentage will be specified. The 10% debenture, which means this debenture is carrying the interest rate of 10%. So rate of interest on the debenture has to be specified. It is a practice to prefix the debentures with the rate of interest. So what is prefix? Before debenture, I'll add the word percentage, 9% debenture. So you'll prefix the interest rate to the debentures. For example, if the rate of interest is 7% entitled for the debenture, then you will call it as a 7% debenture. Till this point clear? Nothing new, no? Everything is very familiar with the share capital chapter. Debenture is what? It is not a capital. It is a borrowing. It is a debt. There are two ways in which you can raise the funds. One is capital, equity. Second is debt, equity and debt. If you remember, we studied in the ratio chapter, debt equity ratio. So debt equity are the two sources of raising the funds. So equity we studied. Now today we are going to learn debt. It is normally secured by way of charge on the asset. I have a specific point to discuss here. There's a specific study. There's a point which will come after 2-3 pages. So that time I'll explain what is point number 5. Sixth point, interest on debenture is a charge against profit. We have studied the concept of charge against profit or appropriation of profit somewhere. Where? Fundamentals of partnership.
Partnership fundamentals.
So when do we call something as a charge against profit? Whether you have profit, whether you are in loss, whether you have sufficient profit or whether you don't have sufficient profit. You will not look into all that. If you want to record something as expenditure, you will record it. So when you record some expenditure, irrespective of whether we have profit or not, that is called as a charge against profit. I will put that expenses against the profit. Whereas appropriation of profit means what? I'll record something as expenditure only if I have sufficient profit or to the extent of the profit. We've studied this very clearly in the fundamentals of partnership. So here guys, interest, even in that case, interest on loan in partnership, where did we put? P&L account. Interest on partners loan cost, why did we record? Did we record in P&L appropriation? No, we recorded in the P&L account because it was a charge. So it was a charge, then it is a charge even now. So any problem in understanding this point? So always your interest on debenture is a charge against profit. Next. Yeah, 6 points is done. Bond. Bond, like debenture. Bond is another kind of category. Bond is also like a debenture. It is an acknowledgement of the borrowing issued by the company and signed by the authorized signatory. So even in the debenture certificate, guys, the director of the company will sign it. Only then it is a complete document. So like that here, another kind of debt instrument is bond. So for bond, there is no practical questions. There's only a theoretical part small that is given. The expression bond has become synonymous with the debt instrument where the rate of interest is not predetermined. So in bond, the rate of interest, unlike debentures, is not predetermined. Right? For example, bonds are deep discount bond, zero coupon bond. Zero coupon bonds means a bond with zero rate of interest. So what are these bonds? This is something you'll understand when you do your CA intermediate and CA final. This is not even there at the foundation level. So I'm not going deep into the discussion. Here, bond is a different kind of a debt, which is little different from debentures. Right? Okay. Any other instrument? Any other instrument will include any kind of securities, which means what are the different other kinds of debts? One is bank loan, one is debentures, one is bonds, one is any other instrument with whatever name you call. Any other instrument will include the kind of securities evidencing the borrowing of the company, borrowing that the company may issue. For example, public deposit is another category. Public deposit means what? We take deposit from the public, which is allowed only by the public limited company. Even private company cannot raise it. So public deposit is another kind of borrowing. Are you going to understand different kinds of borrowing? Bank loan, third party loan, debentures, bond, public deposit. All these are the various names of or various categories of debt. Okay, that's what has been given here. Now let's do the difference. I'm not going to discuss this point. This we already studied in detail. I'm only going to discuss this. Debenture, ownership. Debenture is a borrowing of the company. Therefore, a debenture holder is the lender. Here, the person who was given the money, this person is called as a debenture holder. In other words, he's also called as a lender. Debenture is a borrowing of the company. That is why I call this as a debt. Debenture is a debt, whereas equity is a capital. Debenture is a debt, equity is a capital, and preference is capital. Preference share is also a capital. Okay. Return. Debenture holder gets interest at the stated rate. So when I'm issuing the debenture, I'm telling you, you'll be getting a debenture at the rate of 9% interest. So you'll get only 9%, nothing more, nothing less. Debenture holders gets interest at the stated rate, whether the company earns profit or not, because it is a charge against profit. So whether company is in profit or whether company is in loss, boss, the debenture holder is not worried. All he knows that you have guaranteed an interest rate, so you better give it. So debenture holder has got nothing to do with the profitability. He will get his interest rate irrespective of what the profit is. Repayment. Debentures are issued for a specific period or a specified period. Hence, the amount of debenture is repaid on the due date. So now when you issue the debenture certificate, on the debenture certificate, the terms of repayment is mentioned, which means on that the due date is mentioned. So on the due date, you have to repay. This is what they're trying to explain. Issue at discount. Debentures can be issued at discount. Point to be noted. Shares cannot be issued at discount. However, shares can be reissued at discount, if you remember the point. But here, debentures right from the beginning could be issued at discount. Please highlight a point, and we have a practical question based on this. In fact, not one question, many questions are based on this concept. So you need to remember that debentures can be issued in the beginning itself at discount, whereas shares could never be issued at discount. Shares could be reissued at discount. Are we clear with this point? Online students, are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Sweat equity shares is a unique category of shares where it can be issued at discount. Yes. Sweat equity shares is a kind of a equity shares that can be issued at a discount, but that is an exception. Apart from sweat equity shares and ESOPs, you cannot issue prima facie any shares at discount. Right? So thanks for reminding the point. Security. Debentures may or may not be secured by charge on asset. So I told you this point, there is an exclusive thing which I have to discuss, which I'll discuss in some time. About security, there's a separate pointer. Next is convertibility. Debentures can be converted into shares. I told you, no. Just like preference shares, even debentures have some features which is not there with the loan. If you go and take loan from the bank, can you convert that debt into the equity shares? Banker will say get lost. But here, in the debenture case, the option has been given to the debenture holder. If the debenture holder feels that company today it is new, I don't want to take a risk. So to be on safer side, I'm giving as a loan so that I can get a regular interest. But somewhere deep in heart, you know that this company on the long run might do well. So you will tell the company, issue me convertible debentures, which means after a point of time, this debenture will get automatically converted to equity shares. Benefit two. One is that you will get dividend, which can be at times more than interest rate. Your interest rate is fixed. How much ever the profit company makes, even the company makes excess profit, you will not get anything out of it. You'll get whatever is promised to you. But in case of a shareholder, equity shareholder, if the company is having huge profit and if the directors approve, that means, sorry, if the directors propose and the AGM approves, you can get higher rate of return. That is one benefit. Second benefit is that you will be, your shares will get listed in the stock exchange, which means you can trade the stock exchange. So you have two benefits. One, you're getting dividend on the equity shares, plus you're able to trade it on the stock exchange, which means you're getting double benefit. So this feature is being given to this particular category. That's why this concept of debenture is little unique. Are you able to follow? We'll be discussing what is convertibility in some time. Voting right. Debenture holder do not have any voting right. What does voting right means? Can somebody tell me?
Electing the board of directors.
Yes, taking part in management. Which point of time do you take part in management? Which point? AGM. Apart from that, boss, you are not allowed. You are not even consulted when the management takes the decision. So you are consulted only one time during the lifetime of the company, and that is AGM. That is annual general meeting, where you will be called. There will be certain important discussions that will be done. For your information, the appointment of auditor is being done in the AGM. So if majority of the shareholders does not want a particular chartered accountant to be appointed, they can reject it. So like that, there are certain management decision that is allowed, not everything. There's certain things that is allowed to you. So that is allowed to whom? Shareholders, equity and preference. Debenture, of course, they are lenders. When you are not taking the risk, what risk you are not taking? Equity shareholders, what risk they are taking? They're taking the risk of non-payment of dividend. They're taking the risk of non-payment of the capital. But here you did not take that risk. You were a coward. And what did you do? You said that, boss, I want my interest regularly, whether the company is in profit or not. So when you didn't care about the company, why will company care about your decisions? So for that, you are denied of the voting rights. You cannot make any decisions in the company. So debenture holders cannot be allowed to exercise their voting rights. Preference shares, what happens? Voting rights is there or not there? Preference share is not there. Equity alone is there. Equity are, sorry? For equity, there is no preference of dividend and there is no preference of capital. Whereas here the preference is given for the interest. That's what I said. Clear? Okay. Risk. Debenture holders are relatively safe. Why are they safe? Guys, no talking. Why are debenture holders considered to be relatively safe? That is one aspect. Charge is one aspect. Another aspect, you are getting interest without whether the company is in profit or loss. No. So your interest is secured whether the company is having profit or whether the company is having loss. Whereas equity shareholders will get dividend only when there is a profit. So that is the risk they are taking. In case of winding up of the company, the equity shareholders are the last person to get the capital. Whereas you will be the first person to take the capital and run. That is the money and run. So when you are not taking risk, then you will get your returns accordingly. So here they say that debenture holders are relatively safe. That is one reason. Second is they are secured. Secured debentures. What is secured debentures? I'll be discussing. The security point I have not discussed with you. That I'll discuss with you. Next, last point. Priority as to repayment of principal. In case of winding up of the company, do you understand what is winding up of the company? The complete closure or the shutdown of the company. The payment of the debenture is made before the payment of share capital. So debenture holder are given the first preference before the preference share capital. Even before the preference share capital, the first person to get the money back is debenture. Then the preference, then the creditors, then preference share capital, then lastly equity share capital. Owners will take the money at the end only. And this guy is not the owner, he's the lender. So he'll be the first person to take it. So this is about debenture, guys. Next is debenture holder. Very simple, same point is repeated. Debenture holder is the lender of the company. A debenture holder gets interest on his investment at the specified rate, whether the company earns profit or not. Same point is repeated. A debenture holder has no right to control the activities of the company by voting or otherwise. Same point repeated. Debenture holders are relatively safe. Secured debentures are even more safe. They're totally free from the risk. So what is a secured debenture? I'll discuss now. Features of debentures or types of debentures. I will restrict my theory discussion with this, and then we'll take a break and start with the practical concept. Too much of theory is very difficult for me also to digest. So types of debentures. You can classify it from the point of view of security, redemption, registration, and convertibility. So let's see the first one. From security point of view, the first feature of debenture is that we have the concept of secured debentures. Secured debentures are those debentures which are secured by either fixed or floating charge on the asset of the company. Now, what does this mean? See, now this person, let's suppose Mr. X, is lending 10 lakh rupees to the company. Now, this X does not know the credibility, whether the company is credible enough to pay the money or back. To pay the money or not, the person is not sure of it. So the debenture holder is saying that, look, company, if you want me to give 10 lakh rupees to you, in return, you have to give me security. You need to give me a security. What security? So this company will have a balance sheet. On the asset sides, there'll be so many assets. So on this asset, I will create a charge. For example, let's suppose the land first asset is land, which is worth, let's suppose 15 lakh. So this Mr. X will give the loan only if it is mortgaged or pledged against this asset called as land. So what is the benefit of mortgaging or pledging is that let's suppose on the due date, company is not having sufficient money or cash to repay. In that case, if the land is sold, the first preference will be given to repay this money to the debenture holders, because against this land, your loan has been mortgaged, which means what? When I sell this 15 lakh worth land, from that whatever money comes, this will be first utilized to settle Mr. X. So Mr. X is secured. Unsecured means what? I'm giving you 10 lakh loan. In return, I'm not taking any security, which means that in an unsecured debenture, what is the risk I'm carrying? That if the company goes on liquidation, winding up, and if the company is not having sufficient money, and if the debenture holder are not being paid, gone. So unsecured debenture means there is a possibility, a risk that on the date of repayment, the company can run short of money or run out of money and you will not get anything. So that is unsecured. Secured means what? If the assets are sold, if you are, now there are two kinds of charge. One is fixed charge. Fixed charge means what? I say that, no, I want this loan to be mortgaged against only land or only against a particular asset called as building or anything specific. That is called as fixed charge. Floating charge means I will mortgage it on the total value of the asset. Let's suppose the total value of the asset is 25 lakh. Then on the 25 lakh rupees, the mortgage will be done. This is called as a floating charges. Floating charges means what? Something which is changing. Fixed means something the value will not change. For example, if I record land at 15 lakh rupees, we follow historical cost system. Where until I sell the land, the value of the land will be reflecting at same 15 lakh rupees, the purchase cost. So it is fixed. Floating means what? If I take the total of all the assets, the total will change every day, no? Because this total asset will include my cash balance, and cash balance will undergo change every day. So when I give the security on the total asset, this total asset will keep on floating every day. Floating means changing up and down. So you can create charge on two types, by way of two types. One is fixed charge. Fixed charge means you will take something as a security which is very fixed, very particular. Okay, my loan or my debenture will be secured against land, or it will be secured against building, or it will be secured against plant and machinery. Like that, if you tell it specifically, it is called a fixed charge. Now, if you don't know that, should I create it on fixed or what value, I don't know, then you can do on the floating charges. Floating charges means what? On the total asset, you will create the charge, which means what? Once the charge is created on this 25 lakh, and whenever the company is selling this 25 lakh worth assets, and whatever money is encashed, that will go to the debenture holder first. After paying him, after satisfying him, if there is any money left over, the company can do whatever it wants to do. That is the power of secured. Are we clear with this point? Online students, are we comfortable with the word secured debentures? Secured debentures are those debentures which are secured. You are secured by fixed charges. Fixed charges against a particular asset, land, building, plant, machinery, whatever you say. Or you can have a floating charges on the asset of the company. A charge on the asset of the company is registered with the register of companies. Now, this is very important. If you are creating a charge against any asset, boss, let's suppose I'm a company. You are giving me money. I'm telling you that you are protected against my asset. What is the proof? I can even lie, no? Just by orally, if I tell you, will you agree? No, you are protected against my land. You will say, give me in writing. Writing is not sufficient. You need to get it registered. I can call something as a secured debentures only if the security is registered. Registered where? With ROC. Who is ROC? That even I know. But who is ROC here? What is the role of ROC here? ROC is the governing authority of the companies. Whether the companies is registered properly or not, whether the company is following the Companies Act rules or not, who will check all that? ROC. From whom do you go and check the name availability? You want a particular name. Let's suppose you want Fortunes Fund Learning Academy Limited. Who grants me that name? Can I just randomly start any name? You are not supposed to do that. You have to get it checked whether this name is available. So who is going to tell you the availability of the name? ROC. You need to incorporate the company. Who does the incorporation of the company? Who checks everything in detail? ROC. After forming the company, you need to follow the rules and regulations. Who is going to check the rules and regulations? ROC. So this is the same ROC with whom you have to go and register your secured debentures. Okay, that this company is issuing the debenture, and against this the land is being pledged, or building is being pledged, or the total asset is being pledged. Whether it is fixed charges, floating charges, all the terms and conditions has to be mentioned. So this is very, very important. Please take a highlighter and highlight this point. Unsecured debenture. Unsecured debentures are those debentures which are not secured by a charge on the asset of the company. There's no charge. I gave you money, you gave me debenture certificate, that's all. Then my money is Allah Bharose. If you are sufficient rich enough, you give me the money. If the company goes bankrupt, then gone. Govinda, oh Govinda. Tirupati bhai, Govinda. Our way to repeat. Okay, meaning of charge. The expression charge means securing the loan, which is debenture, by mortgaging specific asset towards a loan. If I pledge the asset towards you, that is debenture, I cannot sell the land without your permission. For example, let's suppose Mr. X has given 10 lakh rupees loan to the company, and the company is mortgaging land for this particular loan, which means the company cannot sell the land without the permission of Mr. X. This is, if I have to tell you, go to bank. If you want to take loan for a business, bank will ask something as a collateral security. All of you have heard this word, which means what? Bank says that, 50 lakhs, you're asking 50 lakhs from me. Tomorrow, if you don't repay me the money, where will I go? So you have to give something as a collateral security, land. Same concept is applied here. Correct? It means if the company does not meet its obligation, means what? On the due date, if it's not making the payment, the lender can secure his payment from the asset mortgaged. What does it mean? How can lender secure his payment? Lender can get the asset sold, and from that he can recover his money. This is what it means. Are we clear with this point? It means if the company does not pay as promised to the debenture holders, the lender can secure his payment from asset mortgaged, or in case of winding up the company, from the official liquidator. So when the company is wound up, the court will appoint an official liquidator who will take care of what assets will be sold at what value, and from that whatever money is coming, to whom it will go first. All that is being checked by an independent person called as an official liquidator. For information, if you're winding up a company, it has to be done through an order of the court. Order of a court is mandatory. Court will appoint an official liquidator for you who will ensure, okay, this asset is sold today, this asset is sold tomorrow, this value it will be sold. And once the money is come, he will decide who will be the first person to get it. So in the case of winding up of the company, now you have a secured debenture certificate. Your debenture certificate is secured. So you'll go and give the certificate to official liquidator and tell me, see boss, when I gave this money as a debenture, no, I was pledged against this land. So from this land, whatever money comes, please give it to me. And the liquidator will give you. That's what it means. Simple. Any difficulty to understand it? No. A charge may be either fixed or floating. A charge created on a definite asset, on a particular asset of a permanent nature, such as land, building, machinery, etc., is known as a fixed charge. Or a charge is a floating charge when no specific asset. I'm not creating a mortgage against a specific asset. I'm just telling the total asset. So from the total asset, whatever asset is sold at any point of time, from that whatever money is coming first, it will go to the debenture holder. So a charge is a floating charge when no specific but all assets are pledged, except those charged by way of fixed asset. Let's suppose there are two people, X and Y. So X is mortgaged against land. Now Y has to be mortgaged against the total asset, but that total asset will be excluding land, because land is pledged for X, no. So whatever is the remaining asset, the total asset, that will be given to Y as a pledge. A floating charge holder has a preference over the unsecured creditor. See, the company has to give money to both creditor as well as the debenture holder. But a secured debenture holder will have the first preference, because this guy is secured with something, no? So from the asset, whatever money is recovered, first I will satisfy whom? Debenture holder. After that, if anything is left over, I'll give to the creditor. After that, if anything is left over, I'll give to the preference shareholder. Then finally to equity shareholder. So floating charge holder has a preference over the unsecured creditors for settling his claim in the event of winding up of the company. Yes. Oh, I thought you were asking a wonderful question, something, Chalo, no problem. So yes, we'll take a break of 4 minutes and then we'll come back and continue with the theory. All right, guys, now let's continue. The next point is, guys, now the type of debenture from the viewpoint of redemption. You've studied redemption already in the share capital chapter. Can somebody tell me what is redemption?
Repayment, sir.
Repayment, very simple. Now, there are two kinds of debentures here. Redeemable debentures. Second is irredeemable debentures. Same we had in preference share. Redeemable preference share and irredeemable preference share. Redeemable debentures are those debentures that are repayable by the company on the maturity. That is at the end of specific period as per the terms of issue. Which means what? When X is giving 10 lakh rupees to the company, guys, listen, no talking. When X is giving 10 lakh rupees to the company, I'll come. When X is giving 10 lakhs to the company, in return, the company is giving debenture certificate. In that, there is terms of repayment, which means what? I will repay you after end of 1 year. I'll pay you after 5 years. So that particular date is the maturity date. So let's suppose today I'm taking loan on 22nd December for a 5-year period, which means what? 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 2026, that is 22nd December 2026. I'm supposed to repay this money back. So that is the maturity date. So redeemable debentures means there'll be a due date that will be given. So when the loan is being taken, when the debenture has been issued, on the same day, you will tell that, okay, this will be repaid to you on a particular date. So if the date of repayment is given at the time of issue itself, we call it as a redeemable debentures. At the time of issuing of debenture, if the date of redemption or the date of repayment is already known, then you are called as a redeemable debenture, right? Then what is irredeemable debenture? This does not mean that the debentures will never be repaid. It will be repaid. When? Irredeemable debentures are those debentures that are not repayable during the lifetime of the company. During the lifetime of the company, it is not repayable, but it will be repaid only upon the company being wound up. We studied irredeemable preference share, which means the preference share will be repaid after 20 years of the issue of preference share. What is irredeemable preference share? Redeemable preference share means it will be redeemed on a specific date. Irredeemable preference share means the shares will be repaid within 20 years of date of issue. Here the 20 years clause is not applicable. Here, if I'm issuing the irredeemable debentures, which means that the debentures will be redeemed only and only upon the winding up. During the lifetime of the company, or as long as the company is alive, you will not get the money back. You will get the money back only if the company is wound up. That is called as irredeemable debentures. Are we clear with this? Irredeemable preference share, you have to repay it, but the maximum limit is 20 years. Redeemable, check properly, check properly. Redeemable preference share is 20 years. Okay, on the due date or on the by maximum 20 years. Okay, sorry. So in case of preference share, the point was in redeemable preference share, you have to repay on the due date subject to maximum of 20 years. Irredeemable preference share, the same concept was there. What? It will be repaid not during the lifetime, but only at the winding up. Thanks for correcting. Okay, now next is from registration point of view. Registered debentures. Registered debentures are the debentures that are registered in the company's record in the name of the holder. Which means when Mr. X is giving the loan, so company will make a note, no? Okay, X is giving me 10 lakhs, Y is getting 15 lakhs. Your name is getting registered in the register of the companies, in the company's register. So that is called as registered debentures. Principal and interest of such debenture is payable to the registered debenture holder, which means whosoever name is mentioned in my register, to that guy only I'll make the repayment of principal, and to that guy only I'll make the payment of interest, not to anybody else. Yes. So here registered debenture means that the person who is lending the money, his name will be specifically mentioned in my register, in the register of the company, in company's register, which means that in the register of in company's record, in the company's register, whosoever name is being reflecting, to that guy only the debentures will be repaid and the interest will be paid, not to anybody else. The transfer of debenture. Now, if Mr. X wants to transfer this debenture to somebody else, let's say Mr. A, that is possible only by execution of a transfer deed. You have to sign a form called as a transfer deed. On that deed, on the execution of that deed, the debentures can be transferred from X to A. Another kind of debenture is bearer debenture. Bearer means the person who is having the debenture certificate in his hand. Whoever is having the debenture certificate in his hand. So here in bearer debenture, what happens is they'll issue a debenture certificate. Along with that certificate, there'll be multiple coupons that will be attached. You know, food coupons. Food coupons. For example, that coupon will say that 10% off at Domino's. So if you take that coupon and go and give to Domino's, the Domino's will give you 10% off. 10% off on Pizza Hut, 5% off on Reliance Trends. That coupon is there. No? So like that here, in case of a bearer debentures, along with the debenture certificate, coupons will be issued. If you want to get interest, you will go and produce this coupon. Whoever is producing the coupon, he will get the interest. Or whoever is going and producing the debenture certificate, that guy will get the repayment of debentures. So bearer debentures are the debentures that are not registered in the records of the company. So let's suppose X is giving 10 lakh rupees to the company, and in return the company is given debenture certificate. In that certificate, X name is not mentioned. What is mentioned? From this guy, I've got from some random person, you got 10 lakh rupees. This will be only mentioned. Now, what will happen is if X doesn't want to become or continue to become a debenture holder. X, let's suppose he doesn't want to become the debenture holder of the company. He will hand over this document to whom? Y. And from Y, he will collect 10 lakh rupees. Now, Y has become the debenture holder. So if Y wants to get the money back from the company, he will go and give the certificate to the company and the company will pay you the money. So the concept of bearer means what? The person who is bearing the debenture certificate or the person who is bearing the coupon in his hand, whoever is bearing and whoever is producing the document, he will get the interest and the principal. Is this clear? In case of registered debentures, boss X's name is mentioned in that. So X will be the only person who will get the repayment of the debenture and he'll get the interest. That is registered debentures. In case of bearer debentures, your name is not mentioned anywhere in the record. Whoever is producing the coupon, whoever is producing the certificate, he will get the money. So company will not know who is the real person who has initially given the money. This can be transferred. The debenture is transferred merely by handing over the document to somebody. So if let's suppose the debenture certificate is in my name, I can hand over this to Rakshita and I'll collect from Rakshita 10 lakh rupees. Now, officially, Rakshita will be the person who has given the loan to the company. If Rakshita doesn't want to, be any longer the debenture holder, she'll hand over this to Mansi. So Mansi will be entitled to get the money and the interest. If Mansi also doesn't want, she'll hand over to Bhavishya. So Bhavishya will be the person who will receive the interest and the principal. So finally, whoever is having the document and whoever is producing the certificate to the company, he will be the person to get everything. That is the concept of bearer. Bearer debentures are the debentures that are not registered in the records of the company in the name of the holder. These debentures are transferred by mere delivery. Rakshita delivered the certificate and coupon to whom? Mansi. So she's become the debenture holder. Now Mansi in turn has transferred this, handed over this document to Bhavishya. Bhavishya has become the holder just by mere delivery. Interest is paid to the person who produced the coupon attached to the debenture. There will be interest coupon. Whoever is giving that coupon. Now let's suppose your coupon is by mistakenly fell somewhere in the road. I pick it up. If I go and give the interest coupon to the company will pay interest to whom? That is my jackpot. Correct, no? Now, next is from convertibility point of view. Beautiful feature. Beautiful feature. In the beginning, I don't have that much belief on the company. Whether the company will survive on the long run or not, I don't know. So I told company, see, I'm ready to give you money. In return, you have to give me interest. Whether you're having profit or whether you're having a loss, doesn't matter to me. You have to give me interest. But somewhere I knew, deep inside my heart, I knew, overall, this company will do very good. One day this company will grow. I had that feeling. So I told that the company issue me convertible debentures. In future, after a particular date, after 5 years, 10 years, this debenture will get converted to equity shares. 2 benefits you'll get. I told you. The first benefit is that you'll get dividend, which means sometimes it can be even more than your interest. Second is your share will be listed in the stock exchange, which means you are having the option to trade the shares, which means let's suppose the debenture is issued for 100 rupees per share, 100 rupees per debenture, and it is converted to equity shares, 100 rupees per share. And in the stock exchange, it is being listed for 10,000 rupees. The value of this particular share in the share market is 10,000. Your cost is 100 rupees. So what is the profit? What is the capital gain? 9,900. That is the second advantage. That is the power of shares. In no second, it can make you pauper to rich. In no second, it can make you rich to pauper. Convertible debentures are the debentures that are convertible into shares. Here, shares means only equity shares. If a part of debentures amount is convertible to equity shares, they are called as partly convertible debentures. Let's suppose I've issued 50,000 debentures to you. In that you say, sir, 25,000 I'll convert it, 25,000 let it be debenture itself. Then it's called as partly convertible debentures. The full amount of debenture is convertible into equity shares. They are known as fully convertible debentures. Any problem? No. Non-convertible debentures are the debentures that are never converted into equity shares. Varumodu debenture, povumodu debenture. Okay, super. Now, from this, I will restrict my theory discussion for the day. Remaining theory I'll discuss in the next class. I'm not winding up the class. I'm heading towards the practical aspect of this chapter. I'm telling you, love this chapter. Such an interesting chapter. Issue of debenture. Hello. Issue of debenture. Who can issue debentures? Private company and public company. Public company can be of two types. Public company can get their shares listed in the stock exchange, or if they choose not to get listed in the stock exchange, it can be unlisted also. So unlisted public company, listed public company. Now, issue of debenture through private placement. What is private placement? Privately will place it. Private placement means I will issue debentures specifically to the person to whom I know, or to a specific person. If I want, I don't know Shrikant, but Shrikant is a big investor. So I tell Shrikant, sir, if you're interested, you can invest in my company. So I'm approaching him directly. I know the person to whom I'm going to issue the debentures. That is called as a private placement. So private placement can be done by all the three companies. If you're a private company, you can do the issue of debentures through private placement. If you're an unlisted public company, still you can issue debentures through private placement. If you're a listed public company, still you can issue the debentures through private placement. Are you all aware of what is listed public company and unlisted public company? Listed means what? If your share is listed on the stock exchange for trading purpose, you are called as listed public company. You have registered yourself as a public company, but you have not done the public offer, which means you have not listed your shares on the stock exchange, which means you are an unlisted public company. So there are three types: 1, 2, 3. So private placement can be done by all these three people. Then comes your public issue. Public issue. Public issue means what? I'm issuing the debentures in the market. Some random Tom, Dick, and Harry is coming in, applying the debentures of the company. I don't know who that guy is. He likes the company. He's coming and telling that, sir, I want to invest in your company. He's giving me the money. I don't know who that guy is. So that is called as public issue, like we had for shares. So same way here. So who can do public issue? Can private companies do public issue? Because you are private. Public issue, impossible. Public issue can be done only by public companies. Okay. Can unlisted companies can do? No. Can listed companies do? Yes. Are we clear with this now? Now let's read this. A listed company may issue debenture for public subscription. A listed company may issue debentures for public subscription, which means they're trying to indicate this point. An unlisted company cannot issue debentures to public in general. Cannot do the public issue. Unlisted company cannot do the public issue. This point. However, both listed and unlisted companies, both listed and unlisted company may issue debentures through private placement. Both listed and unlisted can issue the debentures through private placement. The process of issue of debenture is the same as the case of issue of shares. You know the process of issue of shares? Issue of share for consideration cash, for consideration other than cash, lump sum issue, installment, bank to share application to share capital, bank to debenture application to debenture, same process. The entire journal entry just replace the word share with debentures. Your accounting is done. Lovely it is. No? You had high hopes. Everything went off. Everything you recollected. Good. I'm happy with that. The process of issue of debenture is same as in the case of issue of shares. That is, debentures are issued for subscription along with the application money are received. Like in the case of shares, the company may call the amount of debenture in lump sum or in installments. Same way you can do this here also. Like shares, you can call the debentures in lump sum or in installments. So debentures can be issued for cash. We're going to learn that today. Or for a consideration other than cash. Or as a collateral security. This is something new you will study here, which is a brand new topic. Very important also. Debentures, whether issued for consideration of cash or for a consideration other than cash, it can be issued at par, premium or discount, no problem. Debentures can be issued at par, debentures can be issued at premium, debentures can be even issued at discount. Can you issue shares at discount? Can you reissue shares at discount? Yes. Issue of debentures for cash. No reading theory. We'll do practical questions straight away. Illustration number 1, guys. Please take illustration number 1. Lovely question. You love it. First question. Sun India Limited issued, no talking, guys. Recording is going on. No talking. Sun India Limited issued 20,000, 9% debenture of 100 each. So how many quantity of debenture is issued? What is the quantity of debenture issued? Please answer. 200. Wonderful. Issue 20,000, 9% debenture. This is not rupees 20,000, my dear friend. This is 20,000. So 20,000 debentures are issued, like 20,000 shares, 20,000 debentures. And the category of debenture is 9%. The interest rate prefixed is 9%. And the price, the face value of each debenture is 100 rupees. Like shares, you have face value, no? For debentures also you have face value. Yes, same thing. I'm telling you, just replace the word share with the debenture. Sorry, debenture with the word share. The dividend in interest. Our dividend, even is interest. Am I right with Malayalam? Chechi, am I right with Malayalam? Our dividend, even is interest. Okay, now it is payable at par. Payable at par. Par means what? Face value will be equal to issue price. Excellent. Applications were received for 20,000 debentures. So can I say at par subscription? Debentures were allotted on 5th April 2021. Anywhere have they given the installment? Application 5 rupees, allotment 10 rupees, something like that. Nothing is given. Which means what? This is a lump sum issue. Pass necessary journal entries in the books of the company. Which company? In the books of Sun India Limited. First heading will be in the books of Sun India Limited. Next line, journal entries. Then you will record the format, which is date, particulars, LF, debit and credit. Please do the format. I'm waiting. Either you can write the heading this way, or you can write in the books of Sun India Limited, journal entries. And please draw the format, and then I'll do the entry. Priyansh, Krishna, is it visible from there? You able to see me, no, both of you? If you can move the chair a little bit towards left. तू देखो दिख रहा है उसको बोल रहा हूँ. दिख रहा है ना? ठीक. Done with the formatting? Okay. Now guys, the share is issued on 1st April 2021. So when the debenture is issued, first thing what will happen, in my bank account money will come. Correct, no? So understand guys, the process of issue of debenture is exactly like the process of issuing the shares. How do you issue the shares? First, the company will create the prospectus. All of you know what is a prospectus? A prospectus, in prospectus, first of all, the name of the company will be mentioned. Who are the promoters, owners of the company? When this company was started? Why this company was started? What is this company doing? What kind of business this company is doing? Right? Then what has been the progress so far? From how many years the business has been done? Why is the company wanting this money now? With this money, what this company is going to do? Everything will be mentioned in details. The complete information in and out will be mentioned in the prospectus. You will study the prospectus. You will satisfy yourself. Okay, this company is good. At the end of the prospectus, there will be application. You will fill the application. In that application, they'll mention that please deposit this money to this particular account or do a NEFT or RTGS to this account. So you'll fill the application money along with NEFT or check, you will go and deposit it. So money is first coming to you. So application, when the debenture holders are applying, first application happens. So at the time of application, money is coming to you. So bank account debit. So on 1st April, money is coming into my bank account. How many debentures has been issued? 20,000. And each debenture is costing 100 rupees. So 20,000 to 100 is 20 lakh rupees. Bank 2, not 9% debenture. Because again here there is a concept of minimum subscription. So 2, debenture application and allotment. We studied in the share chapter that when you're doing a lump sum issue, application and allotment will happen together. So you'll open the account name called as to debenture application and allotment 20 lakhs. Check for the minimum subscription. Once the minimum subscription is met, yes. Yes, you can have different categories also. The question is that can we have different categories of debentures? 9%, 10%? Yes. You can do that, but you will not do it logically. Will you do it? If you do 9% category and 10% category, people will go to 9% or 10%. Naturally, 10%. Unless and until you have a very huge difference between the two. Because I have to check for minimum subscription, no? Only if minimum subscription comes, I'll go ahead with the allotment. Minimum subscription is not meant, I have to refund the money back. So that is why I'm opening a temporary liability account. Yeah. So you mean to say why 9% is not put here? Okay, your question is why prefix 9% is not there. If you want to put, you can put, nothing wrong. They have not put it. So do 9% debenture application and allotment. Now this is a temporary liability. Now guys, how will my balance sheet look? How will my balance sheet look after the first entry? If I prepare the balance sheet of the first entry, guys, what happens? On the asset side in my bank account, I'll have 20 lakh rupees. And on the liability side, debenture application and allotment 20 lakh rupees. Because we are following double entry system of accounting, which means for every transaction, there'll be a debit and equivalent opposite corresponding credit. This will be the status. Now what happens after you ensure the minimum subscription? You will transfer this 20 lakh rupees from the temporary liability account to the permanent liability account. And the permanent liability account name is 9% debenture. So as per modern approach, if I have to reduce one liability, should I debit or credit? If I want to reduce a liability, Man says debit. If I want to reduce liability, debit. So here, this is a temporary liability which I have to reduce now. So that I've given a debit, 20 lakh rupees. So when I do 20 lakh rupees debit, from this 20 lakh will get minus. And I want to add this to the new liability, which is a permanent liability. And the name of that permanent liability is 9% debentures, permanent liability. So I'm reducing one liability, increasing another liability. To increase liability, I need to give a credit because liability is credit balance. To increase it, I need to give a credit. To decrease it, I need to give a debit. So when I do a credit of 9% debentures, plus 20 lakh will happen here. So what is the total of the balance sheet? 20 lakh on debit side, 20 lakh on credit side. Because this 2020 is gone now. So you're left with this. So what does this mean? How do you read this balance sheet? If I ask you, how did you get 20 lakh rupees in your bank account? The answer is that, sir, we have got this 20 lakh rupees from or by the way of issue of debentures. Or if I ask you, you issue 20 lakh debentures, no. In what form it is there with me? It is there in form of bank with me. This is how you read the balance sheet. So balance sheet left hand side liability indicates the source. From what source the money is coming. And this money, what is coming, it is applied to which source. So asset is always application. This is something which you have studied in 11th standard. Liability is source of money coming in, and this money what came in, where did you apply? Whether it is in form of bank, whether it is there in form of cash, whether it is invested in form of assets. So that is the application. Are we clear with the first two entries, guys? That's all. And first term was completely MCQ. So you never bothered about narration. Now this is descriptive paper. No narration, no marks. I repeat one more time. You've written everything perfectly. Heading, format, everything is perfect, but you forgot to write this narration. trust me, you will get big anda from me. Not only from me, from the even examiner. So narration is equally important. The first is being application money received 20,000 debentures into 100 each. You can write it in your own language, but narration has to be there. So get used to it. If you think that, sir, here without narration I'll manage, sir, but in exam I'm a big jnani, automatically the narration will come to me. Trust me, you will not get it. You need a lot of practice. Sometimes, I've been out of touch of narration for quite long time. So sometimes even I get stuck. So you have to do practice. But there's no rocket science in debenture like this narration, because whatever English language, journal ka interpretation you're writing it. So it is a normal English language, but you need to practice it. If I'm clear with this, can I go to illustration 2? All of you done with this? Anybody who's still doing illustration 1? Online students? Anybody who's still doing illustration 1?
No, sir.
No.
There are 15 students, 3 gone. Wonderful. Shambhavi, Afra, Chintana, you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Kirtana, Sibi, Brinda, Smriti, Snehal, Somesh, Surya.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, no talking. Recording is going on. Shh, shh, shh. No talking. Shh. Guys, no talking. Illustration 2. It says that Dash Limited. Get over the idea. I mean, I'm surprised why this name is there. Dash Limited. What a dash. Why are you getting excited? Hello? Okay, Dash Limited on 1st May 2021 issued 40,000 10% debenture of 100 each. Can you tell me how many quantities of debentures been issued? 400? 40,000? Okay, 40,000. What is the category of debenture? 10% debenture. What is the face value?
Percent debentures.
100 each. Online students, please participate. Next. This is payable rupees 20 on application and the balance amount on allotment. Is this lump sum issue or installment? Because they're taking money into different installment. No? So this is installment. 20 rupees on application. Balance is how much? That will come later. Adavadu, see, when a third degree torture has been given, it has been given gradually. If I want to give you current shock, I'll give you gradually. I'll not give the top speed. So this is like shock. First they gave us lump sum, only application. Now lump sum, that is application plus allotment. Then application, allotment, first call. Then application, allotment, first call, second call. Everything will be satisfied. होता है, state board में काफी होता था, but यहाँ पे they have not done it. Anyways, so 80 rupees is balance on allotment. Applications were received for issued debentures and allotment was made to all the applicants, which means the subscription was at par. The amount was received on the due dates as promised. So there is no default, there is no forfeiture. Now, pass the journal entries for issue of debentures and prepare the balance sheet. Prepare the balance sheet. Which format of balance sheet? New format.
Vertical format.
I'm sure all of you have forgotten by now. I'll ask all of you. I said, which form of balance sheet will you prepare? The old 11th format of balance sheet or the vertical format? That 4 headings, main headings, then subheadings. I'll ask all that. Okay, now, in the books of Dash Limited, journal entries and the format, please note it down. Please note it down. Please note down the format. All of you. Online students, you are working out along with me. Shambhavi, Afra, Chintana.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Anya, Kapil, you're working it out.
Yes, sir.
Kapil,
Yes, sir.
Kirtana, Sibi, Selva, Brinda, you're working it out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Please complete. Do the format, then I'll do the question. Okay, now let's do the answer, guys. So first thing, same thing. You're receiving the money in your bank account, no? So bank account is debited. Any problem? Bank account debit. 2. You need to create a corresponding temporary liability, and the name is debenture application. Only application, not allotment, because this is not lump sum. This is installment. Allotment will happen separately. In lump sum, what happened is application and allotment happened simultaneously. That's why we had 2 debenture application and allotment. Here it is separately. So 2 debenture application. What is the quantity of shares? 40,000. And what is the amount we're collecting per debenture? 20 or 100? See, I told you. 40,000 to 20 rupees is 8 lakh rupees. Being application money received towards 40,000 debentures at the rate of 20 per debenture. Then, once you will ensure minimum subscription, then you will reverse the temporary liability. So you will reverse the debenture application by giving a debit, and in place of that, you will create a permanent liability called as a 10% debenture. Same value, no change. Same value, no change. Till this, if you're done with it, let me know, then I'll go forward. La, la, la. Excellent. The next entry is, guys, application process is over. Now on the date of allotment. Tell me, guys, once the share is allotted, is the trust created or not?
Yes,
In the
sir.
first stage, what happened is, in the application stage, what happened is, company first got the money and then they gave you the debentures. Because for the first time, the company does not know you. So only when you give the money, the credibility of you paying the money is established. Now, once you pay the money and once the company is allotted, now the company feels that you are one among them. You will not cheat. So that trust is created. So when trust is created, what is the trust entry? The trust entry is now that you will give debentures without receiving the money. Look at the first stage. You got the money and then you gave debentures. But in second stage, the moment the trust is created, you will first give them the debentures and then later you'll take the money. So second stage is allotment stage. So the trust entry, the due entry. The due entry is what? Debenture allotment account debit. You're giving him debenture worth 32 lakh. Against that, you have not received the money, but you believe that you will receive the money in future. Asset is something what you own, or asset is something what you expect to receive in future. So this debenture allotment is like a debtor. This signifies that this money of 32 lakh rupees is yet to be received. What is a credit sale entry? What is entry for credit sale? Credit sale, boss. Credit sale entry. Sales account debit to creditor. Hey, credit sale, sales to creditor.
The debtors account debit to sales, sir.
Wow, yara sugar erengiri sugar vaindaanga. Hey, debtors to sale, correct? No, which means you gave him the goods without receiving the money. Hello, you have put debtor in debit. The expectation is that debtor is going to give the money in future. So this debtor is asset. To increase the asset, what you do? You give a debit. Same way here. Debenture allotment is an asset. Guys, you need to be very clear with this classification. Debenture application is a temporary liability, whereas debenture allotment is a temporary asset. So to create asset or to increase asset, what do you do? Debit. So debenture allotment account debit 32 lakh. How did you get? 40,000 debentures into 80 per debenture, because out of 100 rupees, 20 is already collected. Balance is 80, no? So like that 32 lakh. So this is called as a due entry. No, you're not allowed to do that because this is happening on a different date. Now understand, guys, when this debenture allotment to 10% debenture, no, this entry is being recorded on the date of making the call. When the company is calling that, please pay the money and keeping the call, no, that is the date when you will record this entry. Bank account to debenture will happen on a later date. Once the call is made, you will be given a certain amount of time to make the payment. So payment is happening on a different date. That is why you cannot combine these two. The transactions are happening in the two different dates. So when the money is received, bank account is debited, and when the debtor is giving us the money, guys, what is the entry? Bank to debtor, no? So same way, when the person is giving me the money, You will reverse this debtor, that is temporary asset, by giving a credit. To reduce the asset, I need to give a credit. And in bank account, I'm giving a debit. So bank account debit to debenture allotment. This entry is exactly same like your share. No change. No change. If you're clear with this, I'll go forward. Now we're not done with this question. What is the next requirement of this question? To prepare the balance sheet. Wonderful. Vertical balance sheet. Now my question goes to all of you. In the vertical balance sheet, please tell me, what are the two broad classifications?
Equity and liabilities and asset.
Equity and liabilities, then assets. Under equity and liability, how many main heading? 3. Very
Four,
good.
sir.
4. Very good. 2. Very good. 3. Very good.
Four, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Four, sir.
First one. What is first one? Shareholders.
Shareholders fund.
Second,
Share
Share
application.
application
pending allotment. Third,
Non-current
liability.
liabilities.
non-current liability. Fourth,
Current
how
liabilities.
many are there? Okay. Okay. அதெல்லாம் சொல்ல முடியாது. Okay, four main headings. For assets, how many headings? 2.
Two headings.
Sir.
Somebody said 3. Who's that? அவன் கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா இருக்கான். ஒண்ணு மேல current asset, non-current asset. One is non-current asset. Hello, first non-current. Format is very important. Second is current asset. Very good. Very good. Under shareholders funds, how many sub headings?
3, sir.
3, sir.
3. Or 1 or 2? First one,
3, sir.
share capital. Second one, third one, share warrant. Money received against share warrant. Very good. Share application and pending allotment, single solo person. எந்த பிரச்சனையும் கிடையாது. லைஃப்ல ஜாமன் இருக்கான். ஒத்தையா வந்தா ஒத்தையா உட்கார்ந்த பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்ல. நான் கரண்ட் liability, long term borrowing, deferred tax liability. Wonderful.
The long term.
Long term provision, other current liability. This is a other non-current
Long term
liability.
liabilities.
This clearly shows that I've given you proper training in the term one. Huh? This one, are you active or not? Okay, under current liability,
Short term borrowing.
Short-term borrowing.
short-term borrowing,
Trade payables.
trade payables,
Other
Other
current liabilities and short term provisions.
huh? Short-term provision, other current liabilities. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now tell me one thing. I'll erase all this. When I record this, when I recorded this, all these entries, guys, finally, what are the two accounts that is pending? But what are the two accounts that is reflecting finally? Bank and debentures, no? I'll tell you how. Debenture application credit is knocked off with debit. Correct? Then debenture allotment is knocked off with debenture allotment credit. So what am I left with? Bank account debit 8 lakh. Bank account debit 32 lakh. So 2 bank debit. How much? So I said bank account mein 42 lakh. 40 lakh. Okay. 40 lakh. Then what am I left with? In credit, 10% debenture, 10% debenture. 8 plus 32. Oh, confidence are telling us. Now, you cannot present like this. Bhavishya, you cannot present like this. We have upgraded. From 11th, we are upgraded to 12th, and balance sheet also is upgraded. Now, my question to all of you: this bank, 40 lakh rupees, where will you record? Non-current asset or current asset?
Current asset.
Current asset. Under current asset, where?
Cash and cash
Cash and cash.
Under
equivalents.
current asset, tell me the name no first. That you will not tell. See and at least tell no. In the lesson படிச்சிருக்கீங்க எக்ஸாமுக்கு. Current asset, what is the first item?
Current investment.
Sorry?
Current investment.
Current investment. Okay, Kirtana says current investment. Inventories. Trade receivable. Cash and cash equivalents. Short term loans and advances. Yes. Then trade investments. No, not trade investments. Other than the inventories. Inventories we written.
Other current
The
assets.
short-term liabilities.
Sorry.
Other current liabilities, sir.
Other than liabilities are.
Sorry, sir. Assets.
6 are there. Check properly. Current investments, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent, short-term loans and also other current asset. Now bank where will you record? Bank will
Cash
come
and
under.
cash
Cash
equivalents.
and cash.
Excellent. Okay. So this you will give the breakup in where? Notes to accounts.
Notes to account.
Okay. Now this 40 lakh rupees debenture value you classify. Will you classify it under shareholders funds?
No, sir.
Plus, debenture holders are lenders. Shareholders funds is belonging to owners. So I will not record it here. Can I record in share application money pending allotment? First, this is share application money pending allotment, but the issue debentures. Second option ruled out. Now the third question is non-current or current.
Non-current.
Debenture is issued and it has to be redeemed within 1 month of the balance sheet date. Then it is current liability. If nothing is mentioned in the question, always we believe that it is a long-term borrowing, so it will go to your non-current liabilities. So under non-current liabilities, it will go under long-term borrowing because debenture is borrowing, no debt. So long-term borrowing. So under long-term borrowing, you record this. So let's see what they have done. It. Balance sheet, equity liability main heading. Subheading is non-current liability. Subheading is long-term borrowing. Under long-term borrowing, you should record 10% debenture. This is also not okay. Yeah, they have done it. Notes to accounts. See, 40,000, 10% debenture of 100 each, 40 lakh. As long as asset is concerned, the main heading is asset. Subheading is current asset. Subheading is cash equivalent. Subheading is cash in bank. All those who have not done the financial statement got this. 40 lakh. I'm telling you, whatever you have studied in term 1, everything will get reflected in term 2. Those who have studied term 1 properly, you will love it. And those who have not studied properly, trust me, I'm there for you. Mariam, I'm there for you. Don't worry. This is the presentation of balance sheet. Any problem? Any problem? This is how, guys. 50% of chapter is so easy. Balance 50% is new. That is also jujjubi. Like that, I'll tell. You should also believe. You should also believe. It is easy. 8:17. Wind up for the day. Wait. Let me tell in my style. No? So guys, yes. Oh, silence. I'm not done. Hello. I'm not done. Wait. So guys, that's all from my end for today's class. So I'll be meeting you all in the next class, which is Friday, same time, 6:30 to 8:30. Until then, bye-bye. See you. Take care.